I greatly appreciate it. So, date of recording September the 16th, and we are basically at a toss up in this election. It's a toss up. The race is narrowing, it is very close. September the 16th. Let's kind of get into it. So, Harris is still leading nationally by about 2.5, 3 percentage points. That hasn't really changed a whole lot. Trump has kind of gotten a little boost in support now that RFK has dropped out. He was hovering around 43%, and he is now hovering around 44, 45%. Harris, 47%, trended upwards to about 48%. She's still leading nationally in the polls by about 2.5, 3 percentage points. But there are essentially 7 battleground states: Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. So I'm going to fill in the blue states, I'm going to fill in the red states, and we'll kind of go from there. So New Hampshire's leaning Democrat. Okay, so Democrats are starting at about 225, 226 votes. Now that North Carolina is swing state, which was not anticipated, I did not anticipate that to happen at all. Republicans are starting at about 219, 220. So, Ohio. So, yeah, we're looking at roughly 226 to 219. Basically, it's a tie. It's a toss-up. You're starting at around the same average. So Arizona, Trump is leading at the moment, but basically the past month and a half, it's been Trump plus 1 or 2, Harris plus 1, 1.5, dead even, and now it's back up to Trump. So Arizona is very volatile and kind of all over the place at the moment. But as of right now, the polls are showing that Trump is in the lead in Arizona ever so slightly. So again, half a point. So it's within the margin of error. You know, when I say within the margin of error, I'm saying like 2%. Obviously less than 1%. But let's go to, not Florida, let's go to Georgia. Again, Arizona's a lot like Georgia. They've been kind of flip-flopping for a while. Trump led, Harris led for a little bit, virtual tie, and then Trump is about half a percentage point, maybe a little more. So Georgia is leaning Trump at the moment, but again, Georgia is toss-up. Let's go to Michigan. Harris by 1.5, which is roughly about right, because Michigan was won by about that margin in 2020. So 241, 246, so basically a tie, more or less. So let's go to Nevada. Nevada is a very interesting state because it's voted Democrat since 2008. And I did not anticipate Nevada being a battleground state, like as competitive as it is. Like, I knew it was going to be a battleground state. I just didn't think it to be this competitive. It's basically a tie, essentially even. Harris has a 0.1% lead, which is very, very narrow. So right now, Nevada is toss up, very much within the margin of error, but right now it's leaning towards Kamala Harris. North Carolina, Trump is leading by about 0.3%, maybe as much as a half a percentage point. Again, another toss-up state, but lean Trump. So these 4 battleground states in the Sun Belt, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina. All 4 of them are virtual toss-ups. Virtual toss-ups. So I was gonna do Pennsylvania next, but I'm gonna go to Wisconsin, because Pennsylvania is gonna be the tipping point state. Harris is leading in Wisconsin by about 2.5 percentage points. So the election comes down to Pennsylvania. We kind of knew this was going to happen. So the race is narrow. Democrats are doing better in the Rust Belt than they are in the Sun Belt. Republicans are doing well in the Sun Belt. So Pennsylvania for all the marbles. Let's go to Pennsylvania and let's kind of see where the race is at the moment. Over the past couple weeks, maybe in a month or so, it's been Harris by about a percentage point, maybe 2 percentage points. You're looking at about 1.5%. Now that RFK has dropped out, Trump has kind of gotten a little boost in the polls. The race is narrow, but it is leaning ever so slightly towards Harris. So Pennsylvania for all the marbles right now, it is leaning towards Harris. 276, 262. Very, very narrow win for the Democrats. That is really, really narrow. Upper Rust Belt, Upper Midwest doing better for Democrats. Sun Belt doing better for Republicans. And Pennsylvania for all the marbles. So that's where the polls are for September the 16th. The race is tightening, and we are essentially in a toss-up territory. Popular vote means nothing. 2.5 percentage point lead is obviously a good indication for the Harris campaign. So if the vote was based purely on the popular vote, Harris would win. But we are in a virtual toss-up in the Electoral College. So that's the map as of right now. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Deuces.